My wife and her lover wanted to have some excitement while flying at 9,000 meters in the sky, so they turned on the autopilot. In the chaos, she accidentally pushed the control stick. The plane started to shake. A terrible storm was right ahead. Terrified, she immediately called the control tower and asked me for guidance. But I deliberately took off my headset and sat silently. I wasn't being heartless. In my previous life, my wife and her lover had also broken the rules and put the entire flight in danger. Back then, I took over the tower's command to save everyone. I thought my wife would thank me, but instead, she slapped me and said it was my wrong instruction that almost killed everyone. Her lover also framed me and incited the passengers to attack me. They beat me together. That betrayal completely destroyed me, but perhaps heaven heard my grievance. I was reborn on the day my wife was about to take off again. I quietly put on my headset. I heard her performing the pre-flight check, but she didn't know that it would be her last flight. Just like in the previous life, they flirted and accidentally disengaged the autopilot. The plane started shaking violently again. On the ground, I was closely monitoring the plane's trajectory. My colleague thought I was worried, but in truth, I was waiting for the moment the plane started to shake. Suddenly, the alarm went off. A storm warning appeared. The plane was heading straight into the storm center. She panicked. The passengers screamed. Her lover said that only I could save them. She called the tower, but I removed my headset and heard nothing. Her face was full of fear. Her lover was trembling all over. The plane was getting closer and closer to crashing. Just then, the secretary rushed into the office and informed the CEO about the situation. The CEO immediately ran to the tower, but the tower had already lost contact with the plane. Everyone was panicking. At that moment, the plane sent out an emergency landing signal. The CEO ordered the fire and rescue teams to stand by. At the same time, he told me to guide my wife's landing, but I refused. I insisted that it was a human operational error. The CEO was stunned. Then the secretary pulled up the flight record. He discovered that the plane had suddenly climbed in altitude 20 minutes earlier. That was when it lost balance, but there hadn't been any storm at that time. I said I had already checked the weather. There was only light rain and no danger. The CEO became furious. He said the person responsible would be punished. Meanwhile, inside the cockpit, her lover was panicking. He was afraid the truth would come out, but my wife wasn't worried at all, because she wanted to blame me again, just like in our previous life. But this time, I was going to expose her lies myself. So I instructed my assistant to guide the plane to land safely. When my wife saw the chairman, she immediately accused me of giving the wrong command from the tower, nearly killing hundreds of people. She begged the chairman to punish me. The passengers were also furious and demanded an explanation. Her lover also pointed at me, saying I had issued the wrong order. Then I told the secretary to play the footage from the black box. It clearly showed the two of them flirting and accidentally touching the control stick. When my wife saw it, she instantly collapsed to the ground.